Thanks, Mom, for nothing. Those were the striking words from Gayle King after she heard comments made publicly by Hayden Panettiere's estranged mother, Lesley Vogel, following the actress's death. Just days after Hayden Panettiere died at the age of 36, a new and deeply emotional controversy has emerged. Not over Hayden's career, not over her fame, but over the words spoken by the woman who was once one of the most important people in her life. During the August 19 episode of CBS Mornings, Gayle King addressed comments made by Lesley Vogel following her daughter's death, and King did not hold back. After hearing Vogel describe Hayden as an amazingly talented person, while also saying that the entertainment industry can be difficult for young people, and that Hayden had lost her way, King reacted with a blunt statement. "Thanks, Mom, for nothing," King said. The comment immediately captured attention because Hayden and her mother had a complicated relationship for many years. This was not simply a mother speaking about a daughter who had passed away. It was a mother whose relationship with that daughter had already been publicly discussed, criticized, and questioned. And Hayden herself had spoken about the relationship during her lifetime. That is what makes this story so painful. Because Hayden is no longer here to respond. She cannot explain what she meant. She cannot correct anything. She cannot defend herself. And she cannot tell the world how she would have wanted people to remember her. Now, the people around her are left speaking about her life, her struggles, and her complicated family relationships. But before we get into Gayle King's criticism, it is important to understand how Hayden's relationship with her mother became so complicated in the first place. Hayden Panettiere entered show business almost before she could walk. She began modeling as a baby and appeared in commercials when she was still less than a year old. By the age of 4, she had already landed a major acting role. Her mother, Lesley Vogel, was deeply involved in her daughter's early career. Hayden grew up in front of cameras. While most children were going to school, playing with friends, and experiencing an ordinary childhood, Hayden was learning the world of auditions, television sets, publicity, and professional expectations. Her talent was obvious. She appeared in television shows. She worked in movies. She voiced characters in major animated films. She appeared in Remember the Titans. And as she grew older, her career continued to accelerate. Eventually, she became one of the most recognizable young actresses in Hollywood. Then came Heroes. Hayden played Claire Bennett, the cheerleader with the extraordinary ability to heal herself. The role transformed her career. Suddenly, Hayden was no longer simply a former child star. She was an international celebrity. Millions of people knew her face. Millions of viewers watched her every week. But fame came with a price. The paparazzi followed her. Her relationships became public. Her personal struggles became headlines. And the pressure of being famous from such a young age became something Hayden would later discuss openly. Her mother had been involved in her career from the beginning. But eventually, Hayden wanted to separate the professional relationship from the personal one. At 19, she decided she no longer wanted her mother to manage her career. She wanted Lesley to be her mother. Nothing more. And that decision reportedly caused a major fracture between them. Hayden later wrote about the experience in her memoir, This Is Me, A Reckoning. She described the complicated emotions surrounding her relationship with her mother and the pressure she felt growing up as a performer. She also spoke about wanting a relationship that did not revolve around contracts, producers, career decisions, or Hollywood. For Hayden, the distinction between being a daughter and being a professional seemed incredibly important. But the relationship did not simply disappear. The two women continued to have a complicated connection. At different times, Hayden spoke about hoping that their relationship could improve. She described it as a work in progress. And that phrase became particularly painful after her death. Because in May, Hayden had spoken publicly about the relationship. She still appeared to have hope. She had not completely closed the door. She was still talking about the possibility of healing. Then, only months later, Hayden was gone. On August 16th, the actress was found unresponsive at a residence in South Carolina. She was only 36 years old. Authorities responded to a reported cardiac arrest. She was pronounced dead at the scene. The official cause of death has not been released. Her death shocked Hollywood. Friends, Former co-stars and fans began sharing memories. People who had worked with her remembered her talent. People who had known her personally remembered her personality and strength. And then came the comments from her mother. Lesley Vogel spoke publicly following Hayden's death. She described Hayden as an amazingly talented person,